You have no choice but to marry a Chen, forced by her grandfather to marry someone 5 years older like me. The arrogant young miss originally planned to pretend to agree, just to fool her grandfather for now. Just as Feng Yuaning was about to enter the bridal chamber, she was dragged into the study by her grandfather for a talk. Don't try to pull that sharing a room but not a bed trick on me. Or that we won't interfere in each other's private lives nonsense. You mind your business, I mind mine. I've seen it all before. Feng Yuaning was stunned. How did Grandpa know exactly what I was thinking? Can he read my mind or something? As long as you give me a great-grandchild?
I won't meddle in anything else you do.
Grandpa, do you just see me as some kind of baby-making machine? So, do you want to be a woman who, after having a baby, can go out and have fun wherever she wants? Or do you want to clock in at the company, working like a dog for over 10 hours a day? Take your pick. But no matter which one you choose, the bottom line is you still have to have a baby. Even if you go to work, you're still giving birth. Fine? I'll do it. You want a great-grandchild that badly. I'll pop out 8 or 10 of them, until you're too exhausted to hold them all, old man. Feng Yuaning stormed back to her room in a huff. The moment she pushed the door open, she saw me. She hadn't expected to walk in on a scene like this, and froze in her tracks. What should I do? Seeing her just standing there staring at the door. Not saying a word, I just casually went to blow dry my hair. Feng Yuaning finally stepped into the room, only to realize the room had been completely redecorated. No need to guess. It was definitely Butler Zhao's doing. Hez, so old, yet he has zero subtlety. Why doesn't this guy look nervous at all? Don't they say men are usually on their first time? Or maybe it's not his first time. Talk about a double standard. Why do I have to be a virgin while he gets a pass? What a ripoff. After I finished drying my hair, I saw Feng Yuaning sitting on the sofa, not taking a shower, not saying a word. Aren't you going to shower? Feng Yuaning glared at me and pouted.
What do you think him dirty?
I was taken aback for a second, not understanding why she suddenly got mad.
No.
Feng Yuaning scoffed coldly. I looked at her, thought for a moment, and said, "Let's talk." Feng Yuaning stared at me blankly, her body tensing up. Talk? About what? About when you want to go to bed. Should we go to sleep right now? Is that okay? Feng Yuaning's brain completely short-circuited. She could only blush and stare at me in a daze. It was like she was under a spell. Didn't you say we were going to sleep?
Why are you taking off?
When she woke up the next morning, Feng Yuaning was still half asleep, but instinctively snuggled deeper into my arms. The unfamiliar sensation startled her awake. As soon as she opened her eyes, she met my indifferent gaze.
What are you doing?
Her face flushed bright red with embarrassment, and she instinctively wanted to apologize, but she swallowed the words right as they reached her lips.
Why should I apologize?
The dignified eldest daughter of the Feng family. Since when do I have to apologize to anyone? A Chen is my husband. Whatever I do to him is perfectly justified. Thinking of this, Feng Yuaning boldly pressed her body against mine, nestling right into my embrace. Looking at the way this woman was acting, I pretty much understood what she was getting at. I casually spoke up. Wait until tonight. Feng Yuaning blushed, let go of me, then got out of bed and went to the bathroom. My whole body relaxed. I grabbed my phone, opened an app, and checked her ovulation cycle. Originally, Grandpa Feng had sought me out to negotiate, asking me to marry Feng Yuaning. The terms he offered were impossible to refuse, gifting me all sorts of shares and properties. In exchange, he only had 2 requests. First, after marriage, support, train, and push Feng Yuaning to become capable, so she can shoulder the responsibilities of the Feng group in the future. Second, quickly produce an heir for the Feng family. I need to get her pregnant as soon as possible. Feng Yuaning stepped out of the bathroom after freshening up, and saw that I had already washed up and dressed neatly. The two of us went downstairs together. Grandpa Feng was eating breakfast in the dining room, with Butler Zhao standing by to serve him. When they saw Feng Yuaning and me appear, they were momentarily stunned. Grandpa Feng and Butler Zhao exchanged a look. Don't tell me nothing happened between those two. Feng Yuaning paid absolutely no attention to the 2 old men's stares. She naturally took a seat, and told the servants to bring her breakfast. I gave a faint smile, greeted Grandpa Feng, and found a seat as well. Chen, did you sleep well last night? Pretty well. Feng Yuaning blushed for some inexplicable reason. Grandpa Feng saw that I looked well rested, and knew I wasn't lying. He immediately glared at Feng Yuaning. Feng Yuaning was baffled by the glare. Why are you glaring at me first thing in the morning? We're already married. We've already consummated it. What else are you unhappy about? You're getting harder to please the older you get. You have such a beautiful, obedient granddaughter, yet you're still not satisfied. After breakfast, I headed straight to work. Feng Yuaning planned to go back to her room and sleep in a bit longer. After being tormented all night, she actually hadn't slept well at all. But Grandpa Feng called her back. Stop right there. Where do you think you're going? Back to bed. What, sleep? Get your butt to the company and start working. What, Grandpa? You're making me go to work. Didn't you say before that, as long as I stay home and focus on having a baby,
I wouldn't have to work.
Well, are you actually focusing on having a baby?
Why wouldn't I be?
That's just what you say. How am I supposed to know? Would I lie to you? You think you haven't lied to me enough? Old Zhao, go get the knife.
Yes, sir.
Grandpa, what do you need a knife for? To end it all, obviously. What else would I do with it? Grandpa, haven't you ever heard the story of the boy who cried wolf? I used to worry that if something happened to me, you'd be all alone in this world and suffer, but I'm not worried anymore. A Chen is a capable and loyal man. If I really pass away, hell, take good care of you, and hell run the Feng group well, so I can finally rest in peace. Old Zhao, bring me the sharpest one.
Yes, sir.
I'll go work like a dog happy now. I'm getting totally scammed here. I have to work during the day and work overtime at night. I'm going to die of exhaustion sooner or later. And so, Feng Yuanning accepted her fate and followed Grandpa Feng to the company. You're going to start from the bottom. Be prepared to spend 2 or 3 years at it, rotating through every department for a few months. If a manager doesn't understand the work of their subordinates, they'll easily get played by their employees. When Grandpa Feng and Feng Yuanning got off work and arrived home, they saw the butler rushing out to meet them. Master, young miss, you're finally back. The young master. What happened to him? He went on a business trip. He told me to let you know.
You scared me half to death.
Grandpa Feng frowned and glared at Feng Yuanning. She was completely baffled by his stare.
Why are you staring at me like that?
Why am I staring at you? Don't you know exactly why? If I knew, I wouldn't be asking you. Tell me the truth. Did I perform badly last night? What do you mean, perform badly? What else could it be? In bed, obviously. Does that even need to be said?
Isn't it obvious enough?
If you had actually performed well. Would a Chen have packed his bags and left on a business trip? He went on a business trip because He's busy with work. What does that have to do with my performance? Why didn't a Chen leave earlier or later? Why did he pack up and leave right after your wedding night? It's crystal clear that you were terrible, so he had to run away from you. If you were actually good, would a Chen bear to leave his newlywed wife behind for a business trip? You've experienced how things work between a man and a woman now. Ask yourself, honestly, would you bear to leave a Chen behind for a business trip right now? Feng Yuanning was left speechless. I really wouldn't want to leave, even though I don't have feelings for that man. I have to admit, last night felt incredibly good, and a Chen going on a business trip was just to avoid doing that with me. Seeing the doubt on Feng Yuanning's face, Grandpa Feng felt incredibly smug. I have to knock her down a peg. Otherwise, she'll really think her charm is limitless. I didn't return from my business trip until 7 days later. Seeing me return so suddenly, Feng Yuanning was stunned for a moment. Grandpa was thrilled to see me back and asked, about my trip, did the trip go smoothly?
Yes, everything went perfectly.
I replied while eating. Feng Yuanning just kept her head down and ate. While Grandpa Feng and I were chatting away, Feng Yuanning finished her meal, put down her chopsticks, and got up to leave without a word. You went on a business trip and disappeared for a whole week. Yuanning is a bit upset. You should go coax her. Why would she be upset about me going on a business trip? Shouldn't she be happy about it?
Yes, I understand.
Since Grandpa told me to coax her, I guess I'll go coax her. After I finished eating, I went back to the room. Feng Yuanning was sitting on the sofa, scrolling through her phone. I didn't say anything, and went straight to take a shower. Feng Yuanning originally thought I was going to talk to her, leaving for a 7-day business trip without a word, and he doesn't have a single thing to say to me. Even if this is a loveless arranged marriage, isn't this a bit too cold? It really breaks a girl's heart. I finished showering and walked out wearing nothing but a pair of pajama pants. Feng Yuanning heard the noise, looked up, and saw this exact scene. Are we going to bed? What does that mean? What does he mean by going to bed? Does he mean just sleeping? Or sleeping like we did on our wedding night? Her face turned bright red, and for a moment, she didn't know how to answer. Not sleeping. What's there to be embarrassed about sleeping with my own husband? Why wouldn't I sleep? Sleep. We absolutely have to sleep. Don't get the wrong idea. I'm not sleeping with you because I like you, or because I want to. It's just because Grandpa wants a great-grandchild.
What the heck is my mouth saying?
Since when did I start treating him like a baby-making tool? I know. You just happen to be ovulating today. I know all about it. Hez being treated like a breeding tool and Hez not even mad. His temper is way too good. I watched her expression constantly shifting and asked, what's wrong?
Feng Yuanning snapped out of it.
Shook her head and said nothing. Let's go to sleep. After lying down in bed, Feng Yuanning felt a little nervous. A Chen took the initiative on our wedding night, but now I have to be the one to initiate. It's not like I can't take the lead, but I'm just so embarrassed. Besides, how am I supposed to start? Do I hug him first or kiss him first? I lay in bed waiting for a while. Is she feeling shy? I'm feeling pretty shy myself, you know? All right then, for the sake of the ultimate goal. Looks like I'll have to take the initiative again tonight. I originally wanted to say something, but we weren't that close, and I didn't know what to say anyway. So I just decided not to say a single word. Leaned down and kissed her right on the lips. After working for a few days, Feng Yuanning had developed a regular biological clock. Today, by the time I woke up, she was already awake. We exchanged a glance, then got out of bed and went our separate ways to wash up. Once we were ready, we went downstairs for breakfast. Grandpa Feng saw Feng Yuanning's radiant face, glowing with absolute satisfaction, and the corners of his mouth twitched up. This brat was full of resentment just a few days ago, but her husband came back last night, and now she can't even hide the smug satisfaction in her eyes. I wonder who it was that didn't want this arranged marriage in the first place. Talk about a quick slap in the face. If it weren't for her husband sitting right here, he definitely would have thrown a few sarcastic remarks her way. After breakfast, the three of us went to work together. Feng Yuanning followed Grandpa Feng to the company. In the car, Grandpa Feng asked Feng Yuanning, "Did a Chen coax you last night?" Feng Yuanning's face instantly turned bright red. She shot Grandpa Feng a look and said,
Why would he coax me?
"I'm not a child." Grandpa Feng looked surprised. "He didn't coax you. A Chen clearly promised me he would. You told him to coax me." "Yeah, Grandpa. Exactly what did you say to him?" "What do you mean? What did I say?" "I told him straight up, of course. I said he was gone on a business trip for a week.
You missed him.
You were in a bad mood and told him to pamper and coax you a bit." In that moment, the pampered eldest Miss Feng's entire world collapsed. "Grandpa, how could you spout such nonsense? When did I ever miss him?" "I've completely lost face. Grandpa, you're really trying to piss me off to death."
You didn't miss him.
Then for the past week, why were you walking around with a long face every single day, looking like someone owed you billions and refused to pay? What was that all about, huh? Feng Yuanning blushed, gritting her teeth and refusing to admit it even if it killed her. What's wrong? You mad?" Sulking now, Feng Yuanning turned her head to look out the window, completely unwilling to speak another word. At noon, I met up with Shi Yueyu, the company's top star, for lunch. I wanted to talk to him about doing e-commerce live streams. 3 years ago, he blew up overnight thanks to a high school romance drama, and has made the company a ton of money over the years. I knew full well that with his status, doing long-term live streams would lower his value. So I only planned for him to make occasional appearances, to drive traffic for the other artists under our banner, and promote the Jiang group while he was at it. This was my first time meeting him in person. With his flashy, long white hair, you could tell at a glance he was the unapproachable type. After a few simple greetings, I explained my purpose for coming while we ate. As for the specific details and procedures, you can just discuss them with my agent. I was a bit taken aback. Rumor had it that Shi Yueyu had a terrible temper, and was extremely hard to communicate with. Although he had never done anything too outrageous, he was incredibly arrogant, and could turn hostile at the drop of a hat, leaving the company to constantly clean up his messes. Quite a few contracts had fallen through because of his erratic moods. I originally thought it'd have to rack my brains to convince him today, but I didn't expect him to agree so readily. It seems he isn't as unapproachable as the rumors say.
All right.
This is the restaurant's signature dish.
You should try it.
I looked at Shi Yueyu, feeling that he was acting a bit strange. Is he trying to flatter and suck up to me? But he doesn't look like that kind of person at all.
Shiyu, you didn't say anything.
Just kept his head down and ate, his cheeks slightly flushed, which I completely failed to notice. The two of us finished our meal and walked outside. "Excuse me, a Chen."
You came here to eat too.
"Yeah." I glanced over at Feng Yuanning. She was glaring coldly at Shi Yueyu. Sensing my gaze, she immediately shot me a glare, scoffed coldly, and turned on her heel to leave. I have no idea how I offended her this time. So childish, flipping her mood faster than flipping a page in a book. We exchanged a few more simple words and then went our separate ways. As we were leaving, Shi Yueyu asked me, "Are you and Grandpa Feng very close?" I smiled, nodded, and said, "Yeah."
You and Feng Yuanning are already married.
Shi Yueyu froze for a moment, staring at me in shock. "What's wrong? Is it that surprising?" "Shiyu, you finally snapped out of it." Looking at me with an increasingly distant expression, he asked, "Is the Jiang group in some kind of trouble?"
No.
"If not, then why would you marry a playgirl young miss, who's full of negative scandals?"
I didn't.
"Don't worry. The Jiang group is doing very well and is completely stable right now."
Then why did you marry her?
I originally thought Shi Yueyu was worried that the Jiang group was doing poorly, but now it seems that wasn't the case at all, because I like her, of course. It's only natural for a husband to like his wife. It was an answer that absolutely no one could find fault with. Because I was being cold, I didn't say anything else. For the rest of the trip, he didn't say a single word to me. After work, Bai Yi and the others invited Feng Yuanning to hang out. Feng Yuanning arrived at the meeting spot, found a seat, and sat down. Coincidentally, she ended up sitting right next to Zhang Zhang. Zhang Zhang immediately leaned over, whispering into her ear, "Why are you here? Didn't my brother just get back from his business trip?" Feng Yuanning shot Zhang Zhang a cold glare, scoffed, and said he might as well have stayed away. The moment he gets back, has already messing around with some sketchy girls. Just looking at him annoys me. He'd be better off staying on business trips forever. Out of sight, out of mind. Hearing her say that, Zhang Zhang retorted, "What the hell are you insinuating? Is it any of your business you're overstepping? Who made you the morality police? Besides, when you were in school, didn't your teachers teach you to respect your seniors? Is this how you talk to a senior? Jiang froze. Senior? Huh. Am your sister-in-law? Doesn't that make me your senior? Jiang was speechless, just as she was about to argue back.
Lu Ruyan chimed in.
What are you two whispering about over there?
The others also cast probing glances at the two of them. Lately, they felt these two were acting really weird. Whenever they met, they'd huddle together whispering. If they were hiding something from everyone? Jiang was about to speak, but Feng Yuaning straightened her back and declared, "I'm teaching her a lesson." Hearing this, their friends found it hilarious and asked with a laugh, "How exactly are you teaching her?" "I'm teaching her to respect her seniors." "And which senior are you teaching her to respect?" "There are no seniors around here."
Me.
"I am her senior." "How the hell do you count as her senior? Are you trying to take advantage of Jiang?" "I'm her sister-in-law." Jiang, she's blatantly taking advantage of you, and you're not going to hit her." Everyone knew Jiang was a total brocon. She never shut up about how amazing her brother was. For Feng Yuaning to dare use Jiang's brother's name to get the upper hand, she was definitely dead meat. They were waiting for Jiang to blow up, but Jiang just sat there, unmoving, though her expression was pretty ugly. The smiles on Liu Ruyan and the others' faces slowly froze. Feng Yuaning tilted her chin up slightly, looking at them smugly. "If Jiang dares to hit me, I'll go home and tell Jiang Chen. A junior hitting a senior. That's sheer rebellion. No way. This can't be true, right?" Ruyan couldn't believe it, looking back and forth between Jiang and Feng Yuaning. Jiang was never the type to swallow her anger. Her attitude right now proved only one thing. Feng Yuaning was telling the truth. She really was Jiang's sister-in-law. How could you possibly be with Jiang Chen, a driven, successful man, and a useless, spoiled rich kid? How could you two ever be together? Let me correct you on that. We're not just together. We're already married. The group was stunned. They stared at Feng Yuaning in absolute shock. It took them a long time to recover. What the hell is going on? Jiang Chen just got married, just like that. If Feng Yuaning can do it,
Then why couldn't we?
we could have done it too. Seriously, what happened? It's just a business marriage arranged by the elders.
Lu Ruyan angrily asked Jiang.
If Feng Yuaning can be your sister-in-law,
Then why couldn't I?
Yeah, what about me?
I'd be a great fit too.
they always viewed my brother through the perfect male god filter. Even though they had never thought about taking things further with him before, now that they thought about it, they'd all have to enter an arranged marriage sooner or later anyway. Jiang Chen was mature, generous, chivalrous, and capable. Plus, they had that childhood friend connection with him, compared to eventually being married off to some random, unfamiliar rich heir. Marrying Jiang Chen was a much better deal. He had always looked out for them since they were kids, and treated them so well. If they actually got married, Jiang Chen would definitely take care of them just like when they were little, and treat them right. I'm just as helpless here. I didn't get any heads up beforehand. If I had known earlier, do you think they would have ended up together? If I had known, I would have done everything in my power to sabotage it. I absolutely wouldn't let this brat ruin my brother's life. Lu Ruyan and the others nodded vigorously. Feng Yuaning really was completely unworthy of Jiang Chen. Feng Yuaning looked at the group, feeling both smug and a little pissed off. The man you're all dying to marry is already my husband. But am I really as bad as they say? I get it if Jiang thinks I'm not good enough for her brother, since she's a massive brocon anyway. She always thinks her brother is the greatest guy on earth. But Liu Ruyan and the rest of them, what gives them the right to think I'm not worthy of Ah Chen? I, Feng Yuaning, am a proper wealthy heiress. I've got character, I've got skills, and I've got the family background. I'm the object of admiration for countless young masters. Am I really that bad? Hearing them talk like this is seriously making me lose my confidence. What are you so smug about? It's just a loveless arranged marriage. A loveless arranged marriage like that.
I want one too.
I never thought about marrying an older man before, but if it's Jiang Chen, I'm totally down. I really am. What do you guys know? Do you all really think this is just some loveless high society marriage? If there really were no feelings involved, if it was purely for profit, then why didn't he find some other heiress to marry? There is no shortage of families richer than mine in this circle. And as for age, there are plenty of women his age, right? A man like Jiang Chen could find whatever kind of marriage partner he wanted. So why did he have to choose me? Isn't it because he likes me? Feng Yuaning smugly tilted her chin up. After all, the way she saw it, I was just lusting after her youth and beauty. Her friends' worlds were shattering. The Jiang Chen in their eyes was the most perfect man alive. Yet he actually liked a wet behind-the-ears brat like Feng Yuaning. Jiang kept a cold face and said nothing. Feng Yuaning had a point. If her brother really wanted to find a marriage partner, he'd have his pick of all the wealthy heiresses in City C. She wasn't bragging, but her brother was capable, mature, and grounded. From childhood to adulthood, he was always the perfect kid other parents compared their children to. It was only because he had been abroad these past few years, rarely returning home. Otherwise, their doorstep would have been trampled flat by matchmakers. With so many suitable candidates, he didn't choose any of them, but insisted on picking Feng Yuaning. Her brother and this girl weren't even on the same wavelength. If this wasn't love, what else could it be?
But when did her brother start liking Feng Yuaning?
He had basically lived abroad all these years, rarely coming back. And even when he did, it was always a rushed visit. Could he have accidentally seen Feng Yuaning at some point and fallen in love at first sight? Jiang Jiang glanced at Feng Yuaning. The only thing Feng Yuaning could possibly show off to her brother was just that face of hers. After that, the three sisters turned their jealousy and grief into drinking capacity, constantly pouring drinks. Feng Yuaning and Bai Yi stood by, unable to stop them even if they tried. Meanwhile, Jiang Jiang just stood there with her arms crossed, watching coldly. She didn't help pour the drinks, but she didn't stop them either. If her status hadn't held her back, she would have jumped right in and joined the drinking herself. Around 10 p.m., Feng Yuaning was finally dead drunk. Lu Ruyan told Jiang Jiang to call her brother to pick up Feng Yuaning. Jiang Chen had always absolutely hated girls drinking, let alone Feng Yuaning getting blackout drunk like this. They had to let him see what Feng Yuaning looked like right now, sprawled out on the sofa like a puddle of mud, without a single shred of the elegance a wealthy heiress usually possessed. So, Jiang Jiang actually called me, telling me to come pick up Feng Yuaning. I found my way to the private room. As soon as I pushed the door open, I saw Feng Yuaning slumped on the sofa. The others were just minding their own business, not paying her any attention at all.
What great sisters they are.
The others froze when they saw me arrive. Lu Ruyan and the rest hadn't seen me in a long time. They felt that. I seemed even more charismatic than before. Definitely not someone that wet behind the ears brat Feng Yuaning could ever deserve. As for Bai Yi, this was her first time seeing me. She had only heard about me through Jiang Jiang's stories before. She didn't expect me to actually be this attractive. Bai Yi's heart beat a little faster. I just stood silently at the door, sweeping my gaze over them. Jiang Jiang greeted me, brother, Jiang Chen. I walked over to Feng Yuaning, looked at Jiang Jiang, and asked, "Did you guys get her drunk?" There was no way. Feng Yuaning got blackout drunk all by herself, while the rest of them were completely fine. A flash of guilt crossed their faces. No. Jiang Jiang really hadn't poured drinks for Feng Yuaning. She just hadn't stopped the others from doing it. The others stayed silent, especially Liu Ruyan, whose eyes darted around, looking incredibly awkward, looking at the ceiling, the floor, the air, but absolutely not daring to look at me. I understood immediately, but didn't press the issue. I crouched down next to Feng Yuaning. "Yuaning, I'm here to take you home." Feng Yuaning didn't budge. She didn't say anything either. She was completely out cold. "Let's go home." I scooped her up into my arms, said goodbye to Jiang Jiang and Liu Ruyan, and left.
Lu Ruyan frowned.
Jiang Chen really does like Feng Yuaning. She drank this much. And not only was he not mad, he even came to pick her up himself. If that isn't love, what is? Jiang Jiang said nothing.
Love, but his reaction just now.
It didn't seem like it. Even though my brother came to pick her up personally, and his tone was very gentle, I didn't see any heartache in his eyes. If he really loved Feng Yuaning, seeing her this drunk, he definitely would have been worried and pained, but he didn't show that emotion at all. Many years ago, I saw what he looked like when he truly loved someone, so I can easily tell the difference. He definitely got married for another reason. Our family's business. Is it really in trouble? Did my brother sacrifice his own happiness just to get the Feng family's help? I can't keep living so carefree like this anymore. I brought Feng Yuaning back home and had the maid help her to her room. I also ordered someone to make hangover soup. Grandpa Feng was furious when he saw this. She really is useless mud that can't be plastered to a wall. I found her such a handsome, attentive, and thoughtful husband, yet she doesn't know how to stay home and be a good wife. Instead, she runs off to party with those girls, getting blackout drunk and looking like a total mess.
I, old Feng, have been brilliant my whole life.
How did I end up with such a worthless granddaughter? Why did you even go pick her up? You should have just let her drink herself to death out there. Grandpa, Yuaning was just hanging out with her friends. She's a newlywed, so it's completely normal for her friends to pressure her into a few extra drinks. Grandpa Feng frowned. I know you're worried about Yuaning's health, Grandpa. Don't worry when she wakes up tomorrow. I'll advise her to drink less in the future, so the family doesn't have to worry. Grandpa Feng looked at me. The husband I chose for Yuaning really is a good man. Mature, gentle, thoughtful, and caring. I hope Yuaning knows how to cherish this and doesn't act out and waste my good intentions. Grandpa Feng left. I had the maid help Feng Yuaning into the bathroom. The maid cleaned her up and put her to bed. Seeing that Feng Yuaning still hadn't woken up, I didn't force her to drink the hangover soup. Good thing Feng Yuaning is drunk. Otherwise, I'd have to do some intense exercise tonight. Thank God, I can finally get a good night's sleep. The next morning, Feng Yuaning woke up with a splitting headache. Holding her head, she looked around. I was brought home. How did I get back? Did Jiang Jiang or Liu Ruyan bring me back? No way. They aren't that nice. Last night, they looked like they wanted to drink me to death. Jiang Jiang just stood there watching with wide eyes. Not stopping them meant she was enabling them. So it absolutely couldn't have been them. Then, who was it? I couldn't have possibly walked back here myself, right? She reached out and fumbled around the headboard. I drank so much last night. Yet, I don't smell like alcohol at all. Did someone bathe me? Feng Yuaning quickly turned to look beside her. Just as she looked over, Feng Yuaning thought about the possibility that I had bathed her last night, and her cheeks instantly flushed bright red. I walked over and caringly asked her if she was feeling unwell anywhere. Feng Yuaning bit her lips slightly and said nothing. I asked again, headache. This time, Feng Yuaning nodded. There's hangover soup in the kitchen. I'll have the maid bring it up. I knew last night that Feng Yuaning might wake up with a headache this morning. So I told the kitchen to prepare the hangover soup early. That way she could drink it as soon as she woke up. The hangover soup isn't important. What's important is who exactly bathed me last night. Actually, asking Ah Chen directly if he bathed me last night. Isn't that a bit too suggestive? How did I get back here last night? Jiang Jiang called to tell me you were drunk, and I came to pick you up. I didn't make a scene while I was drunk last night, did I? I've never drank this much before. Passing out completely. I don't even know if I'm a good drunk or not. But what if Ah Chen says I made a huge scene? How would I even face him then? Feng Yuaning decisively chose to keep her mouth shut. After finishing the hangover soup, Feng Yuaning came downstairs with me for breakfast. After breakfast, I went back to my room to change for work. Feng Yuaning immediately pulled Butler Zhao into a corner and whispered, Uncle Zhao, last night, I didn't make a scene while I was drunk, right? Not at all. You were very well-behaved last night, miss. Well-behaved, since I was 5 or 6. No one has ever used that word to describe me. Butler Zhao smiled, his eyes crinkling, and nodded. It was the young master who brought you home. You were held in his arms, incredibly quiet and well-behaved. It made one's heart ache with pity.
Stop.
Uncle Zhao, say no more. Heart ache with pity, using that phrase to describe her. Butler Zhao muttered inwardly. When she's happy, it's Uncle Zhao. When she's not, it's Butler Zhao. The young miss sure flips her attitude fast. Feng Yuaning pouted and glared at Butler Zhao. Butler Zhao, could you use more realistic words when you speak? Heart ache with pity. Really? That's so exaggerated. Butler Zhao laughed and said, what's wrong with that? You are the young master's wife. What's wrong with making him feel tender towards you? Feng Yuaning's cheeks flushed red. She glared at him. Butler Zhao, you sound so cheesy right now. I can't believe you'd say something like that. Stop talking nonsense. Butler Zhao quickly defended himself. I'm not talking nonsense. You just don't know. You have no idea how worried the young master was when he heard you were drunk last night. He rushed out in a hurry to drive over and pick you up. And then, without even taking a break, he went to the kitchen to have someone make hangover soup for you. Ah, wait. So last night, who bathed me? Of course it was the young master. Tell me the truth. I am telling the truth. It was the young master. Feng Yuaning's cheeks instantly turned as red as a tomato. It really was him. Then doesn't that mean he saw my entire body? Did he touch everything too? Just as she was about to speak, Butler Zhao leisurely continued. Who called the maid to bathe you, miss? Can't this guy just say everything in one breath? Who taught him to pause like that? Scared the life out of me. Drink less in the future. It's not good for your health. Do you know why I drank so much last night? Why? Because Liu Ruyan and Shi Yueo kept taking turns pouring me drinks. And Jiang Jiang just stood right there without even trying to help me. I smiled and asked, why were they trying to get you drunk? She looked at me as if wondering if I really didn't know, or if I was just pretending not to know. I didn't say anything either. Seeing her expression, I smiled faintly. All right, from now on, they won't have the free time to get you drunk anymore. Feng Yuaning looked visibly confused. I didn't explain further. Let's go. It's time for work. Feng Yuaning grimaced. I must have been a notorious villain in my past life, to have to wake up early and work like a dog in this one. I arrived at the company, recalling Feng Yuaning's words from earlier. As for Liu Ruyan and the others taking turns getting Feng Yuaning drunk last night, I pretty much understood the reason. Just Feng Yuaning's remark that Jiang Jiang stood by and didn't help was enough to prove that Jiang Jiang was pulling the strings behind the scenes. I called Jiang Jiang and told her to come to the company. Big brother, what did you need me for? You don't like Feng Yuaning as your sister-in-law, or should I get you a different one? Jiang Jiang asked, can you really? I looked at my little sister, still wearing a faint smile, but there was absolutely no warmth in my eyes. Jiang Jiang suddenly shivered. No need. No need, brother. Feng Yuaning is great. I kept my smile and continued. Since you think she's so great, then you should follow her example and learn from her. Learn. What from her? I looked at my sister and let out a cold laugh. Learn what? Learn her idle, arrogant, and overbearing ways. You've fooled around enough since graduation. Starting tomorrow, you're coming to work at the company for me. Jiang Jiang looked at me in panic, feeling like the sky was falling. Sooner or later, you have to learn how to manage the company. Big brother, I think the company is doing just fine under your management. I've never had any big ambitions anyway. I just want to be a rich kid who eats, sleeps, and waits to die for the rest of my life. I never thought I absolutely had to inherit the family business. It's totally fine to leave the family assets and the company for you to manage. As long as you give me a little pocket money every month, that's enough.
That's just what you think.
What? Do you really want to end up like Feng Yanning?
I don't.
I'm just sincerely praising my big brother. Good girl, Jiang.
Why are you praising me like that, brother?
I'm not a kid anymore, but getting praised by you still makes me really happy. Jiang happily left the company. After seeing Jiang off, I immediately sent a message to the parents of Lu Ruyan and Shi Yueyo to chat, thoughtfully asking about the elder's well-being, and then naturally brought up that Jiang would be coming to the company to work. The elders of both families sighed in relief that Jiang had finally grown up. Lu Ruyan and Shi Yueyo had been close friends with Jiang since childhood, so naturally, they should go to work together too. My intention was actually very simple. As long as they were all busy working, they wouldn't have the energy and free time to scheme and torment Feng Yanning anymore. The parents of the two families immediately informed Lu Ruyan and Shi Yueyo. The two of them tried to resist, but were ruthlessly shut down by their parents. Your good sisters Yuanning and Jiang have both gone to work. Aren't you all best friends? You share blessings and hardships together. Feng Yuanning was one thing. She was the sole heir of the Feng family, so she had to go to work sooner or later. But this rich, beautiful girl, Jiang was having the time of her life playing around. Why would she suddenly lose her mind and want to work? The whole group immediately went into the group chat to ask Jiang, everything was fine. Why did you suddenly lose your mind and go to work? Shi Yueyo was even more clueless. Don't tell me you're planning to fight brother Jiang Chen for the family fortune. Huh? What's wrong with you? Why would you have such a rebellious, suicidal thought? You think you can beat brother Jiang Chen with that blockhead of yours? Anyway, if you go fight brother Jiang Chen for the inheritance, the two of us won't help you at all. That's right. Well, be on brother Jiang Chen's side. The two of them echoed each other, mocking her relentlessly. Jiang heard her phone buzz, and her face darkened when she saw the messages. What kind of fake plastic sisters am I even hanging out with? I haven't even said anything, and they've already hallucinated a whole drama.
When did I ever say I wanted to fight my brother for the inheritance?
I still want to live a few more years. Another message from Shi Yueyo came in. Jiang, don't worry. If brother Jiang Chen wipes the floor with you, well, definitely come collect your body. After all, we've been close sisters for so many years. That's the least we can do for you.
Well, I really must say thank you to you guys then.
Feng Yuanning popped up and dropped a line. Hearing you guys talk like that, is Jiang Chen really that scary? Lu Ruyan hurriedly spoke up to defend me. How could he be? Brother Jiang Chen is the most handsome, gentle man in the world. Yuanning, you definitely need to know how to protect yourself. Feng Yuanning looked clearly puzzled. Why should I be afraid of him? Could he actually eat me alive or something? The others in the group simultaneously sent a row of ellipses. Feng Yuanning became even more confused. What's wrong with you guys? Why are you suddenly sending all these dots? The group chat went silent for a moment. Finally, Lu Ruyan couldn't hold back and spoke up first. Well, you know?
Yuanning, have you eaten yet?
Feng Yuanning stared at the message. Eat what?
I already had breakfast.
I haven't had lunch yet. Why? You want to grab lunch? Well, I have to tell you guys straight up. This lady is a working woman now. I've got a million things to do. I'm super busy. If you want to have lunch with me, you have to make an appointment. The group sent another row of ellipses. Feng Yuanning's head was full of question marks. Seriously, what is wrong with you guys?
Lu Ruyan, you tell me.
Lu Ruyan seemed completely speechless. Asking if brother Jiang Chen has eaten you yet. At this point, it was Feng Yuanning's turn to drop a row of ellipses into the chat. After sending it, she went dead silent, her cheeks burning red. Do these people have no boundaries at all? How dare they ask something like that so bluntly? The private marital affairs between the two of us. Is that something they can just casually ask about? Bai Yi kept pressing. What's with the dots? So, have you eaten or not? Feng Yuanning snapped. What does it have to do with you? Do you live by the ocean? Why are you sticking your nose so far into my business? I was just asking a casual question.
Why are you getting so worked up?
Looks like you haven't eaten yet. By the way, how did you know my family has a villa by the ocean? Bai Yi thought back to the man she accidentally bumped into last night. A top-tier handsome guy like brother Jiang Chen. I was practically drooling when I saw him last night. If Feng Yuanning hadn't snatched him up first, I definitely would have risked my life to get his contact info and flirted with him while I was at it, knowing Feng Yuanning's temper. If she had already eaten, why would she have that kind of attitude? It's highly likely that nothing has happened between them yet, but that's pretty normal. Arranged marriages between prominent families don't start with any feelings anyway. It's totally understandable that it takes some time to get to know each other before getting intimate. Brother Jiang Chen is just one of those cases. In this high society, couples who marry for family interests put on a show of being a loving couple outside, but once they get home, they've never even kissed once. It's super common. Seeing that Feng Yuaning didn't argue back, Zhang Jiang frowned. Married, and they still haven't done the deed. It's 100% definitely not my brother's problem. It must be Feng Yuaning who has the problem. Feng Yuaning was already dissatisfied, but because Grandpa Feng forced her hand, she is deliberately refusing to sleep with brother Jiang Chen. This is truly a massive insult.
That bitch Feng Yuaning.
How dare she humiliate my brother like this? Zhang Jiang really wanted to vent her anger on her brother's behalf, but she couldn't exactly force Feng Yuaning to get into bed and do it with her brother, right? That would be so embarrassing. Zhang Jiang thought for a long time, and finally came up with a plan. She texted me asking me out to dinner tonight.
I agreed.
That evening after work, I went straight to the restaurant Zhang Jiang had booked. I originally thought it would just be the two of us siblings having dinner, but unexpectedly, there were other people there too. Among them was the white moonlight Li Yunshu. She was an old classmate of mine. We went to school together from elementary all the way through high school. We had a pretty good relationship. I walked over and pulled out a chair to sit down. Li Yunshu smiled and took the initiative to greet me. Jiang Chen.
Long time no see.
I smiled back. Yeah.
Long time no see.
How have you been lately? The food was served. We ate and chatted animatedly. Both Li Yunshu and I were now navigating the business world. So whether it was about our school days or business matters, it was very easy for us to find common ground. The atmosphere was genuinely very pleasant, seeing how well Li Yunshu and I were getting along. Zhang Jiang pulled out her phone and secretly took pictures. Hearing the click-click of the camera, I turned to look at her. Taking a selfie. I didn't bother paying her any more attention. I turned back to continue chatting with Li Yunshu. Zhang Jiang sat there scrolling through her photo album, picking and choosing, and finally selected the two best ones to post on her moments. Along with the caption, "Having dinner with my beloved big brother," she even added a super radiant emoji, even though the caption said dinner with her brother. The photos she posted were actually shots of Li Yunshu and me talking to each other. In the picture, I was looking at Li Yunshu with a gentle, mild expression. There was a faint smile in my eyes. Li Yunshu was also smiling brightly, turning her head to look back at me. If an outsider who didn't know the real situation saw this photo, they would definitely mistake us for a couple. After posting it on her moments, Zhang Jiang even set the privacy so that only Feng Yuaning could see it. Watch me score one back for my brother. I have to let that Feng Yuaning know that my brother has a whole line of people chasing after him. Who the hell does Feng Yuaning think she is? I need to give Feng Yuaning a little sense of danger. Feng Yuaning got off work and returned home, only to be informed by butler Zhao that I had a social engagement tonight and wouldn't be home for dinner. Feng Yuaning felt a bit helpless. Is he really that busy? We've only been married for a few days, and Hez either on business trips or out at social events at night, not coming home. Even the chairman of the group, like Grandpa, isn't as busy as him. Grandpa also has a social event to attend tonight, so right now Shez all alone in this massive house. Feng Yuaning sprawled out on the sofa, scrolling through her phone while waiting for dinner to be served, casually scrolling through her social media moments. Zhang Jiang's post immediately caught her eye. Originally lounging lazily on the couch, she instantly shot up and sat straight.
Li Yunshu. I know her.
But we're not close at all. We don't usually interact much. After all, our family's business sectors are different. But we're both in the same elite high society circles, so we occasionally bump into each other at private events, just nodding from a distance as a formality. Looking at this photo, it seems like they have a really good relationship. Having dinner with such a young woman, is this the social engagement he was talking about? Feng Yuaning slightly raised her delicate eyebrows. A sudden, inexplicable feeling of being cheated on washed over her. She hurriedly texted Zhang Jiang. Are you having dinner with your brother? Zhang Jiang saw the message Feng Yuaning sent, and her lips curled up in a smug smile. The fish took the bait. Zhang Jiang immediately replied, yeah. Feng Yuaning asked again, is Li Yunshu there too? Zhang Jiang replied with just one word again, yeah. Feng Yuaning stared at the curt. Yeah, Zhang Jiang replied with, her expression growing uglier by the second.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Yeah, did she forget how to speak human? Can't she type a few more words? Left with no choice, Feng Yuaning had to swallow her pride and keep asking, does your brother know Li Yunshu? Of course. My brother and sister Li Yunshu have been classmates from kindergarten all the way through high school. Feng Yuaning unconsciously frowned. Classmates. Seeing Li Yunshu again. My brother is so happy, but don't misunderstand. My brother and sister Li Yunshu are just classmates, even though they had dating rumors back in school. That's all ancient history. Feng Yuaning immediately latched onto those words and texted back, dating rumors. Zhang Jiang replied very quickly, yep. Back then, everyone in school rumored that they were the golden couple, a match made in heaven. But that was all decades ago. Feng Yuaning's face darkened. She tapped open the photo again, looking at the two of them, a talented man and a beautiful woman, exchanging affectionate glances, their faces beaming with bright smiles. The atmosphere was truly wonderful. They really were a perfect match. Seeing that Feng Yuaning wasn't replying, Jiang felt incredibly smug. Feng Yuaning must be burning with jealousy right now.
Haha.
Li Yunshu and I were having a great time chatting. After dinner, she invited a few more old classmates out to hang out. I went abroad right after graduating high school. I've been overseas all these years, so I rarely kept in touch with my classmates back home. Li Yunshu, on the other hand, had always studied and built her career domestically, so she maintained very good relationships with our old classmates. When they arrived and saw that I was there too, everyone was thrilled. They were also very curious about my life after graduation. The group of friends gathered around me, bombarding me with questions about my career and love life over the past few years. I smiled and answered. When I was abroad, I was mainly in charge of taking over the family's overseas business operations. But now that I'm back, I'm currently running the entertainment company under the Zhang Group.
Oh, and Im also married.
We've already registered our marriage, and the wedding is currently in the preparation stage. All my friends were stunned when they heard that. They looked at me in shock.
You're married?
I smiled and nodded. Yeah. The expressions on my classmates' faces suddenly became very intriguing. Jiang Chen and Li Yunshu both had outstanding looks, incredible family backgrounds, and excellent academic records. Back then, everyone thought the two of them would end up together. Hearing me say I was married, Li Yunshu also looked at me with disbelief. Her hand gripping the glass tightened even more. Then, who is your wife? I smiled and said, my wife's last name is Feng. Her name is Feng Yuaning. Feng Yuaning. That name sounds familiar. Instantly, Li Yunshu realized who she was. Feng Yuaning, the eldest daughter of the Feng group. I smiled and confirmed with everyone.
Yes, the heiress of the Wanfan hotel chain.
Almost all of them had been to the Wanfan hotel chain. It's a globally renowned 5-star hotel chain after all. Its facilities are spread all over the world. To think that Jiang Chen actually married the heiress, Feng Yuaning. But thinking about it, it makes sense. Although the Jiang family isn't quite on par with the Feng family, they aren't far behind either. It could definitely be called a well-matched marriage. Everyone took turns raising their glasses to congratulate me. I smiled and accepted their toasts. I also invited them to attend our wedding. The group had a great time hanging out until 11 p.m. before finally starting to disperse, since I had to work tomorrow. I left with the first group to head out. Li Yunshu walked me all the way to the door. Because I had been drinking, I couldn't drive myself. I had to stand at the door and wait for a designated driver. Finally, Li Yunshu couldn't hold back and asked me why I suddenly married Feng Yuaning. She really couldn't figure it out, no matter how hard she thought about it. She had always lived in City C, and both the Feng and Jiang families were prominent families in high society. Every little move they made caught the public's eye. Yet she hadn't heard a single rumor about the two families preparing for a marriage alliance. It was just too sudden. She had always thought Jiang Chen didn't even have a girlfriend yet. I just pulled out the cliché lines I had prepared to explain. Because I like her. Like her. The two of us fell into a silence, not saying a word. Soon, the designated driver arrived. After saying goodbye to her, I left. Arriving home at midnight, I saw Feng Yuaning still sitting on the sofa, playing on her phone. I immediately asked her why she wasn't asleep yet. Feng Yuaning stared at me but didn't say anything. She just scanned me up and down, scrutinizing me. Hair wasn't messy. Clothes were neat. No suspicious marks on my neck either. Were you waiting for me? Feng Yuaning's face instantly flushed red. Embarrassed and angry, she loudly retorted.
Who would wait for you?
I'm just playing on my phone. I smiled and pressed further. Playing on your phone while waiting for me? I told you I wasn't waiting for you. From now on, I'll try to come home a bit earlier. So I won't make you wait up this late anymore. Is this Jiang Chen guy deaf or something? I already told him I wasn't waiting for him. I wasn't waiting. Don't flatter yourself. Arrant you being a bit too full of yourself. Don't act like some bitter, lonely wife, waiting endlessly for her husband to come home. Feng Yuaning was just about to say something, to save a little face, but I walked straight into the bathroom to brush my teeth and wash up. Speechless, Feng Yuaning kept quiet. Fine. I'll wait until He's done showering to keep arguing. I really was just playing on my phone. After washing up, I went straight to bed. I was exhausted. After working my ass off all day, I had to force myself to socialize with an old friend all evening. Right now, I'm completely drained. I really just want to get a good sleep. She was gearing up to seize the chance to explain herself properly, only to see me close my eyes and fall right asleep. She couldn't hold back her frustration. Hez just going to sleep like that. Does he really not want to say a single word to me? Sensing the woman's sulky attitude, my lips unconsciously curled into a perfect smile. Then I reached out and pulled her completely into my arms. At this point, she had no energy left to be mad. All that remained was shyness and fluster. A passionate night passed just like that, and the lingering resentment in Yuaning's heart faded away. In the blink of an eye, it was the next day. On Zhang's first day of work, the little girl showed up in my office. She came to snoop around and see what was really going on. Seeing my visibly haggard and exhausted face, Zhang thought to herself, "Is this because he didn't get enough sleep last night? Or did Feng Yuaning see the photo I posted on my Moments and throw a massive fit at my brother? She asked with concern, bro, why do you look so worn out? I replied casually, I didn't sleep well last night. I didn't go to bed until almost 3 a.m. and I had to drag myself up at 7:30. It'd be a miracle if I actually slept well. Jiang Jiang was a bit stunned. Did he not sleep well because he was fighting with Feng Yuaning, or was it because they were doing some exhausting exercise? But she scanned him from head to toe and still couldn't spot any suspicious marks. So did something happen or not? Can Feng Yuaning really stay that calm? Does she have absolutely zero sense of crisis? Even though I never expected her to treat my brother well. Just think about how incredibly outstanding he is, and they're already married. Yet Feng Yuaning doesn't give a damn about him at all. How awful must my brother feel inside? Feng Yuaning is the absolute worst. Thinking about this, Jiang Jiang couldn't hold it in anymore. She aggressively spun around and stormed out. Jiang Jiang, what's wrong with you? She didn't answer me. She went straight to the parking garage, grabbed her car, and sped like a maniac toward the Feng Group headquarters. When she arrived, Jiang Jiang had no idea which floor Feng Yuaning's office was on, so she just called her directly. The moment the call connected, Jiang Jiang screamed into the phone, Feng Yuaning, I'm in the lobby of your company. Get your ass down here and see me right now. With that, Jiang Jiang hung up, not even waiting for Feng Yuaning's reply. Feng Yuaning stared at her darkened phone screen, looking completely bewildered and confused. She grumpily hurried down to the ground floor, only to see Jiang Jiang's furious, scowling face. She strode over and asked, Jiang Jiang, what the hell is your problem now? Jiang Jiang gritted her teeth, glaring at Feng Yuaning, and roared, Feng Yuaning, how can you be such a scumbag? Caught off guard, Feng Yuaning was shoved hard to the ground. Her eyes flared with raging fury. Jiang Jiang, are you out of your damn mind? Bystanders rushed over to help Feng Yuaning up. This is the first time anyone has ever dared to lay a hand on me. If it weren't for the fact that Jiang Jiang has been my friend for years, and my difficult sister-in-law, I would have had security toss her out onto the street by now, letting Jiang Jiang off the hook for now. Feng Yuaning still demanded an answer. Spit it out. What exactly are you throwing a fit over? How did I piss you off? Jiang Jiang yelled furiously. Feng Yuaning, you're shameless. You know damn well what you did to my brother. Feng Yuaning was dumbfounded. How did I treat your brother? I didn't even do anything to him. It was just the usual things a husband and wife do together. Even though Ah Chen really wasn't willing last night, and I kind of forced him. Did Ah Chen seriously tell this brat Jiang Jiang everything? Is that why she rushed over here to pick a fight? Feng Yuaning felt a twinge of guilt. I really did do him dirty. She covered her mouth and awkwardly cleared her throat. Ahem. What do you want? I didn't do what happened last night on purpose. I just couldn't control my anger and acted recklessly. What do I want? I want to teach you a lesson you'll never forget. My brother is the absolute golden boy in my eyes. Nobody is allowed to ruin his image. Feng Yuaning was startled and confused. Were my sins really that heavy? Jiang Jiang gritted her teeth, glaring daggers at Feng Yuaning. She really wanted to lunge forward and tear her to pieces to vent her anger. But seeing Feng Yuaning's dumbfounded, clueless expression, she suddenly hesitated. Follow me. Then she immediately turned and marched out the main doors of the Feng Group. Knowing she was in the wrong, Feng Yuaning obediently followed behind. She trailed after Jiang Jiang around to a quiet, secluded corner outside the building. Jiang Jiang was still glaring at Feng Yuaning. Tell me, when do you plan on divorcing my brother? Feng Yuaning was shocked, staring at Jiang Jiang with her mouth wide open. Divorce? Jiang Jiang snapped impatiently. What? You're not going to? Do you plan on leeching off my brother for the rest of your life? Feng Yuaning looked completely flustered. You didn't have the guts to defy Grandpa Feng's arrangement, but you can't just use Ah Chen to take out your anger, can you? Feng Yuaning grew even more bewildered. When did I ever use Ah Chen to piss him off? And what does this have to do with my grandpa anyway? How does it not have to do with Grandpa Feng? It's obvious Grandpa Feng forced you to marry my brother. I know damn well you weren't willing. So you turned around and tormented Ah Chen to get back at Grandpa Feng, didn't you? Feng Yuaning cut Jiang Jiang off. What the hell are you babbling about? What did I do that involves my grandpa? Besides, I'm not getting back at my grandpa. What happened last night was indeed my fault. This time, it was Jiang Jiang's turn to look confused. What happened last night? But you can't just blame this all on me. Is it really entirely my fault? Are you saying your brother is completely innocent?
What could my brother possibly have done wrong?
Feng Yuaning spoke up, feeling a bit wrong. Your brother is a married man, yet he was out messing around with a female classmate until late at night.
You call that innocent?
Jiang Jiang suddenly realized what was going on and slowly calmed down. She realized that the topic she and Feng Yuaning were discussing hadn't been on the same page this whole time. So, you and Ah Chen had a huge fight last night over Li Yunqiu. Is that what your brother told you? My brother didn't say a damn thing. Feng Yuaning was speechless. Then what exactly did you come here to make a scene about today? Jiang Jiang scoffed and replied, Divorce my brother. Feng Yuaning felt even more helpless. Do you think getting married and divorced is just something we can do whenever we want? If I had the final say, I wouldn't have married your brother in the first place. Besides, I'm not the kind of person who treats marriage like a joke. Jiang Jiang let out a sharp, cold snort. You make it sound like you're a woman with a strong sense of responsibility. I've always been highly responsible. Jiang Jiang nearly choked on her anger at her sheer audacity. Feng Yuaning wasn't finished. Jiang Jiang, I don't get it. What exactly did I do wrong that you're so hell-bent on forcing me to divorce your brother? She genuinely didn't understand, clearly when she first married me. Even though Jiang Jiang didn't approve, she didn't oppose it too fiercely either. Yet now, she was taking such a hardline stance, demanding she divorce me. You know exactly what you did. Bringing this up made Jiang Jiang furious all over again, and she glared fiercely at Feng Yuaning. Feng Yuaning instinctively took a step back. I didn't do anything. You're really going to make me spell it out, aren't you? If you married my brother, Ah Chen, then you should fulfill your duties and responsibilities as a wife. If you really hate my brother that much, you should have gritted your teeth and refused to marry him from the start. But you married him, and now you treat him like a decoration. You don't look at him. You don't touch him. Do you have any idea how humiliating and hurtful that is? For a man like my brother, Feng Yuaning stared at Jiang Jiang in shock. Don't look, don't touch.
Exactly.
If that's how it's going to be, then hurry up and divorce my brother. Stop wasting his time. Feng Yuaning asked in confusion. Hold on. Who told you that I don't look or touch? Let me tell you, I touch him every single day. I touch him multiple times a night. The two of them looked at each other, both feeling a bit awkward, especially Feng Yuaning, whose face had turned beet red, looking at her. Jiang Jiang inexplicably started blushing too. Really? What do you mean? Really? Do you think I'm lying to you? Jiang Jiang spoke up, a bit embarrassed.
Then why didn't you say anything in the group chat?
You made me misunderstand. Speechless. Feng Yuaning said, did you expect me to go around bragging to everyone that I slept with your brother? Do you really think I'm that shameless? Well, no. In the end, her brother still got eaten clean by her arrogant, overbearing best friend. Jiang Jiang asked curiously, so last night, what happened between you and my brother? Feng Yuaning suddenly felt guilty and didn't dare look at Jiang Jiang. Nothing. Tell the truth. One look at Feng Yuaning's expression and she knew something was up. Jiang Jiang interrogated her with a serious face. Feng Yuaning hesitated for a moment before saying, well, last night, your brother wasn't really. I kind of forced him. Her voice grew quieter and quieter, the last few words sounding like a mosquito buzzing. At first, Jiang Jiang didn't quite catch what she said, but a few seconds later, it hit her. She gritted her teeth and glared at Feng Yuaning. Feng Yuaning turned and bolted. Her voice echoed back in the wind. You don't get it. This is just couples roleplay. Everyone's into this nowadays. Jiang Jiang came to my company to find me, bro. If Feng Yuaning treats you badly, or does anything to wrong you, just tell me, and I'll go beat her up. I smiled and nodded. Yeah, if that happens, I'll let you know. But she treats me pretty well. My brother got forced, and Hez still saying She's good. Could it be that I really just don't get it, and it actually is just couples roleplay? Jiang Jiang left with a belly full of doubts. I felt like Jiang Jiang was acting weird today. What happened between Jiang Jiang and Feng Yuaning had already been reported back to Grandpa Feng. He figured Feng Yuaning must have done something wrong for Jiang Jiang to act like that. After all, she was the only grandchild of the Feng family. The granddaughter Grandpa Feng had spoiled since she was little. Normally, no matter how much he lectured her, he could never bear to lay a finger on her. Grandpa Feng was a bit angry and brought it up during dinner. I heard Jiang Jiang shoved you to the ground on the first floor today and even tried to hit you. Feng Yuaning froze, looking up to glance at me. I looked at Feng Yuaning in surprise and asked, she shoved you? Feng Yuaning didn't say anything. Looks like it's true. I continued asking, why did she shove you? Feng Yuaning still didn't say a word. She felt like she couldn't bring herself to speak. Grandpa Feng said, Jiang Jiang isn't an unreasonable child. You must have done something wrong. Flustered, Feng Yuaning lashed out in embarrassment. Grandpa, stay out of this. This is between me and Jiang Jiang, just based on what she did to me last night. If Jiang Jiang actually hit her, she'd just have to take it. Grandpa Feng said sternly, if you're the one in the wrong, then you need to go apologize to Jiang Jiang. And your in-laws? I looked at Grandpa Feng. Grandpa, I'll go find Jiang Jiang and clear this up. Grandpa Feng looked at me and said, I've spoiled Yuaning rotten since she was little, so it's definitely her fault. Don't defend her. She brought this on herself. I nodded without saying more, but I knew perfectly well that Grandpa wouldn't bring this up out of nowhere. This was his subtle way of warning me. I could understand it too. Feng Yuaning is the sole heir to the Feng family, and Grandpa dotes on her endlessly. Jiang Jiang acted way too impulsively. It's a good thing it was Jiang Jiang. If it had been anyone else, Grandpa would have flown into a rage long ago. After dinner, Feng Yuaning and I went back to our room. Why did Jiang Jiang get physical with you? Feng Yuaning refused to say a word. I continued, if you want tell me, I'll go ask Jiang Jiang. Feng Yuaning remained silent. Seeing that she really wasn't going to talk, I called Zhang Zhang. The call connected, and I asked straight out, "Why did you lay a hand on Feng Yuaning?" Zhang Zhang was stunned for a moment, then shook her head. After all, what she did wasn't right. I frowned. "What did she do?" Zhang Zhang pouted and said, "Go ask her." I did. She won't say. That's because she knows she's in the wrong, and doesn't have the face to say it. My voice grew a bit more serious. What exactly is this all about? Hearing my tone, Zhang Zhang knew I was getting angry.
I thought she humiliated you.
I asked in confusion, "Where did you get that idea?" Zhang Zhang fell silent. There were some things that even facing her own brother, she was too embarrassed to say. I glanced at Feng Yuaning, who was fidgeting restlessly beside me. These two keep hemming and hawing. What the hell is going on? This time, Zhang Zhang didn't dare hold back, and muttered quietly, "Who told her to force herself on you last night?" Hearing this, no matter how calm I usually was, I couldn't stop my ears from turning bright red. Are Feng Yuaning and Zhang Zhang really that close? She even told Zhang Zhang about our private bedroom matters. Feng Yuaning looked at my red ears, finding it incredibly novel. On the other end of the line, Zhang Zhang was still indignant, rambling on non-stop. "I only did it for your own good. If I don't teach her a lesson, she'll force herself on you once, and then she'll dare to do it again. I really don't get it. Bro, why do you even like a woman like her? If there's a next time, I'm seriously going to beat her up." I stepped out onto the balcony and closed the glass door. That way Feng Yuaning wouldn't hear my conversation with Zhang Zhang. Seeing this, Feng Yuaning thought to herself, "Is he guarding against me? We're husband and wife. Aren't we supposed to be the closest people in the world? Why do those two need to keep secrets from me? Are they planning to talk trash about me? Should I sneak over and eavesdrop a little? No way. Doesn't the eldest daughter of the Feng family have any pride?" I glanced at Feng Yuaning, then spoke to Zhang Zhang. "No matter what, you shouldn't have gotten physical. Feng Yuaning is the only child of the Feng family. You have to understand. She's incredibly important to Grandpa and the entire Feng family. You acted way too impulsively today, shoving her to the ground in broad daylight." Hearing this, Zhang Zhang muttered quietly, "I didn't actually hit her. I was just scaring her. If broad daylight doesn't work, then next time, I'll find a dark, windy night and beat her with a sack over her head." She spoke so softly I couldn't hear her clearly, so I asked, "Zhang Zhang, what did you say?" Naturally, Zhang Zhang didn't dare repeat what she just said. She hesitated for a moment, then said, "Did she ever think about how doing that to you would make the Zhang family explain things to mom and dad?" I stayed silent for a moment. "Actually, she didn't force me." Zhang Zhang asked in confusion, "Bro, what are you saying?"
You didn't refuse.
I rubbed my temples, feeling like I really shouldn't be discussing this with my little sister, Zhang Zhang. She and I are husband and wife, playing hard to get. Do you understand? Zhang Zhang looked at me in disbelief. I don't want to understand. My own brother is actually playing hard to get with Feng Yuaning. Taking advantage of Zhang Zhang's silence, I changed the subject. "About what happened between you and Feng Yuaning. Grandpa is very angry. You need to come over and apologize to him sometime." Zhang Zhang was completely speechless. What else can I even say? I don't want to say anything. I'm shutting down. I'm such a clown. After hanging up, I went back to the room. Feng Yuaning was sitting on the sofa playing on her phone. Seeing me walk in, she asked, "What did Zhang Zhang say?" "I know you and Zhang Zhang are very close, but there are some things you shouldn't tell her." Feng Yuaning didn't catch on right away. "Like what?" I looked at her bewildered face and said helplessly, "Intimate matters between husband and wife. Only shameless women would share their private marital affairs with their girlfriends," I said coldly. "Then how did Zhang Zhang know about what happened between us last night?" Feng Yuaning's face turned even redder. "That was just an accident. Please believe me.
I really
Didn't go around blabbing about our business. I'm not that kind of person." I nodded, smiling. "Yeah,
I believe you.
I noticed on her delicate fair hand there was a faint red scratch. She must have accidentally scraped it when Zhang Zhang pushed her down. "Does it hurt?" Feng Yuaning looked at my distressed eyes, her cheeks flushed, her heart pounding. Seeing that she didn't say anything, I leaned in close and gently blew on her palm. "Let me blow on it and it won't hurt anymore." Feng Yuaning's heart beat even faster. Is Jiang Chen teasing me?
Help! He's so bad.
My heart is about to jump out of my chest. I looked at Feng Yuaning's small rosy face, the corners of my mouth curling up. I leaned in closer and gently placed a kiss on her soft red lips. Then I asked her, "Does it still hurt now?" Feng Yuaning stammered, "No, it doesn't hurt anymore." Seeing her like that, I gave a bright sunny smile.
Good girl.
After saying that, I kissed her lips one more time, then stood up to go take a shower. Only then did Feng Yuaning dare to take deep breaths. In the past, all sorts of men used every possible method to approach and flirt with me. I was never moved. My heart didn't even skip a beat, and I even found it a bit ridiculous. In my eyes, their tricks were so cliché, cheap, and childish, but now I'm so nervous and embarrassed that I'm completely flustered. Even now, my heart is still pounding like crazy. Feng Yuaning clutched her chest and collapsed onto the sofa. By the time I finished my shower and came out, Feng Yuaning still didn't quite dare to look me in the eye. What's wrong? Does your hand hurt again? I recalled the investigation reports from before, which said Feng Yuaning was a spoiled, unruly heiress, arrogant, bossy, and fond of bullying others. But after interacting with her these past few days, I found out she's surprisingly innocent and easily embarrassed. Feng Yuaning's face flushed bright red. Why am I losing face like this? Why am I blushing at the drop of a hat? What kind of scenes haven't I seen before?
What's there to be embarrassed about?
I looked straight into her beautiful, teary eyes and gently touched her wound. Seeing me smile, she made up her mind, stepped closer, and brought her small, fair hand to my mouth. It hurts again. Could you blow on it some more? Or give it a kiss? Feeling incredibly anxious and nervous, Feng Yuaning thought to herself, Jiang Chen is clearly teasing me on purpose. If he can tease me, why can't I turn the tables and tease him back? I looked at the small hand suddenly brought close to me, a bit stunned. I honestly didn't expect Feng Yuaning to do that. I thought that after being teased like that, she would just glare at me, then run off to take a shower to hide. I didn't expect her to bravely fight back. I chuckled and nodded. Sure. Saying that, I gently blew on the tiny hand in front of me, and then gave it a kiss. Does it feel better now? Feng Yuaning wanted to say something to save face, but her mind instantly went blank. Looks like it doesn't hurt anymore. If it hurts again later, just tell me. And I'll blow on it again. Feng Yuaning looked at me, her face flushed red, looking at her expression. I belatedly realized that what I just said sounded a bit too intimate. Really, whenever it hurts, I can just come to you to blow on it. Hearing such a suggestive remark, I felt a bit flustered and didn't know how to respond. Even though I'm highly skilled and experienced in other matters, when it comes to this, I'm as blank as a sheet of paper. Seeing me teased to the point of being speechless, Feng Yuaning felt smug. Is that a no? I looked at Feng Yuaning and calmly replied, as long as it's because Jiang hit you, sure. Do you want me to call Zhang over to hit you right now? Feng Yuaning blushed and gritted her teeth. No need. Then she ran straight into the bathroom to hide. To express her guilt, Jiang came to the Feng family's house early the next morning. Grandpa Feng, I'm sorry. I was too impulsive yesterday. I shouldn't have laid a hand on Feng Yuaning. Rest assured, Grandpa Feng, I will never do something like that again. Grandpa Feng was very satisfied with Jiang's attitude. Jiang, you're a good kid. You and Yuaning have been friends for so many years. If Yuaning does something wrong, you can just tell her so she can fix it. If she doesn't listen, just tell me, and I'll teach her a lesson for you. Getting physical will only hurt the bond between you two.
Yes, Grandpa Feng, I understand.
Grandpa Feng wasn't the type to hold grudges against kids.
But what exactly did Yuaning do
to make Jiang so angry? So, what exactly did Yuaning do to make you so mad? Jiang was too embarrassed to speak. Grandpa Feng, it's nothing really. It was just a misunderstanding. Grandpa Feng grew even more curious. As they say, the older the ginger, the spicier it gets. He probed directly. Did Yuaning do something to hurt your brother? It's really not like that. Grandpa Feng, why aren't my brother and Feng Yuaning up yet? Grandpa Feng smiled and said, they were probably too exhausted last night, so they're still sleeping. Jiang's cheeks flushed slightly. Too exhausted last night? That phrase really makes it hard not to let one's imagination run wild. Just then, Grandpa Feng smiled and asked Jiang, do you prefer a nephew or a niece? A nephew or a niece? Jiang looked completely bewildered. Pregnant. Could Feng Yuaning be pregnant already? No way. How long have she and my brother even been married? How could it be that fast? Feng Yuaning. Is she pregnant? No. I was just asking casually. Jiang breathed a sigh of relief, then started thinking seriously. A nephew or a niece? If it's my brother's child, I hope it's a boy, just like my brother. But if it takes after Feng Yuaning? Jiang quickly brushed away that terrifying thought. I prefer a nephew. Grandpa Feng nodded and said,
My thoughts exactly.
Jiang looked very understanding and nodded. Older people usually have deep-rooted traditional views, so preferring a boy is completely normal. But what if?
I'm just saying what if?
They have a daughter who's exactly like Yuaning. Grandpa Feng glanced at Jiang. This girl used to seem so smart and obedient. Why is she so annoying when she opens her mouth now? Grandpa Feng glared at Jiang.
You'd better pray
that the child they have is nothing like Feng Yuaning.
Why? Grandpa Feng sighed, looking like he was lamenting a lost cause.
Because if that happens in the future, your brother will end up just like me, spending his whole life worrying and stressing over his kids. Jiang, over the years, that useless granddaughter of mine, has driven me crazy more times than I can count. And you've seen it with your own eyes. True, only you have the tough luck to survive it, Grandpa Feng. Anyone else would have been angered to death by Feng Yuaning long ago. Don't worry, Grandpa Feng. Their child will definitely not be like Feng Yuaning. Right at that moment, Feng Yuaning and I were walking downstairs. and happened to overhear that exact sentence. Jiang, what kind of nonsense are you spouting this early in the morning? Jiang is really getting out of hand. Yesterday, she got physical with her, and now she's here at the crack of dawn telling Grandpa that her kids shouldn't take after her. What an annoying woman. Jiang and Grandpa Feng both looked over. Jiang saw the dark circles under my eyes. Very clearly, Feng Yuaning must have been tormenting her brother again, not letting him sleep. Am I wrong? If your kids take after you, the Feng family is doomed sooner or later. Grandpa Feng sat nearby, nodding in agreement. This was exactly why he didn't hesitate to pay a heavy price to bring Jiang Chen in, hoping their marriage would improve the genetics of the next generation. The Feng family's genes had been terrible for 2 generations. He himself was somewhat passable, but he gave birth to a son who was completely blinded by love. And that love-struck son gave birth to this disastrous granddaughter. If he didn't find some outstanding genes to salvage the Feng family, he feared the next generation would be just as love-struck and arrogant. Then the Feng family would truly be finished. Feng Yuaning looked at Jiang and her grandpa.
Absolutely furious.
What do you mean by that, Grandpa?
I'm your biological granddaughter.
Jiang is insulting me like this. And not only does Grandpa Feng not defend me, he actually sides with her. Do I even have any status left in this house? I looked at Feng Yuaning's little mouth pouting in anger and decided to scold my sister. Jiang, you can't talk to your sister-in-law like that. Feng Yuaning glanced at me.
I was wrong.
As long as my hubby is here in this house, I still have status. Jiang stared at me and Feng Yuaning. Sister-in-law was truly such an unfamiliar and embarrassing title. I can't bring myself to say it. Feng Yuaning asked, "What are you doing at my house so early in the morning?" Jiang replied, "I came to see my brother." Feng Yuaning didn't say anything else. Scared me to death. I actually thought Jiang Chen called Jiang over to beat me up. Jiang hadn't eaten yet, so everyone had breakfast together. Feng Yuaning and I each drove our own cars to work, but Jiang insisted on riding in Feng Yuaning's car. Feng Yuaning tried to refuse. "We're not going the same way. Go ride in your brother's car. The Feng group and his company are in 2 completely different directions." "I don't care. I just want to ride in your car."
Why are you talking so much? Just drive.
Left with no choice, Feng Yuaning started the car. Sitting in the passenger seat, Jiang spoke up. "In the future, could you hold back a little?" "Huh? Hold back on what?" "My brother works all day handling company affairs. He's already tired enough. You need to know how to restrain yourself a bit at night." Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. Not wanting to lose the upper hand, Feng Yuaning flatly refused. "No, your brother and I are newlyweds. We're in our honeymoon phase. Why should I hold back?" Jiang looked at Feng Yuaning's incredibly rational and righteous expression and didn't know what else to say. So she just dropped the subject. I received a text from Feng Yuaning. Lu Ruyan and the others all know we're married now, and they're clamoring for me to treat them to a meal. Do you want to come along?
I agreed.
After Feng Yuaning arranged the dinner, we both got off work early and headed to the restaurant. Feng Yuaning didn't invite too many people, mainly Lu Ruyan, Bai Yi, Shi Yu, and a few other close female friends. Everyone arrived one after another. Those who didn't know the news were all very surprised to see me. After hearing Feng Yuaning's introduction, they were even more shocked. How did Feng Yuaning get married so secretly? And her husband is so incredibly handsome. The last to arrive was Bai Yi. Bai Yi didn't come alone. She brought along a handsome, radiant man. Many people present flashed knowing smiles and began curiously sizing up me and Feng Yuaning. I've always been very good at reading people's expressions. The moment this man appeared, I immediately realized that the relationship between Feng Yuaning and this guy was anything but ordinary. The man walked up to Feng Yuaning with a bright smile. "Yuaning, here is a gift I bought for you from my trip." Feng Yuaning accepted the gift and politely said thank you. After thanking him, she immediately linked arms with me. "Let me introduce you. This is my husband, Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen, this is my friend,
Zan Xingxi.
Zan Xingxi froze, his eyes widening, looking at Feng Yuaning and then at me in utter disbelief. "What?
Feng Yuaning?
What are you talking about? Did I hear that right?" Feng Yuaning said Hez her husband. "I was only away traveling for a month. How did Feng Yuaning suddenly get married? Impossible. I haven't heard a single rumor about this. I don't believe it. Feng Yuaning must be tricking me."
"But why would Feng Yuaning trick me?"
I spoke up politely. "Hello? I'm Yuaning's husband." The light in Zan Xingxi's eyes instantly faded, and he looked at Feng Yuaning with a hint of grievance and sorrow. "Feng Yuaning, what are you saying? You didn't even have a boyfriend. How do you suddenly have a husband? Is it to reject me? That you deliberately hired someone to put on an act?" Feng Yuaning's voice became clear and serious.
"No, I'm really married."
"We've already registered our marriage." Hes Jiang's older brother, Zan Xingxi, usually hung out quite closely with their group, so he was very familiar with Jiang. He looked at me and saw that Jiang and I indeed shared many resemblances.
With his status,
he definitely wouldn't have the free time to play along. with these boring, childish games with Feng yawning. Otherwise, how could he ever find someone to marry in high society later on? So they really are married. Zhan Xingxi looked at the two of us, his eyes instantly turning red. I regret it. I shouldn't have gone traveling. If I hadn't, I would have known from the start that Feng Yuaning was getting married. Maybe I would have still had a chance to stop it. Feng Yuaning's face showed her displeasure. Today is the first dinner party hosted by us.
It's a married couple.
Don't you dare ruin the mood. Otherwise, don't blame me for kicking you out. Everyone had arrived, so they started eating, continuously sending their blessings to us as a couple. The atmosphere was wonderful. Even though Zhan Xingxi was unhappy, he didn't make any further moves. He just sat there quietly, glancing at Feng Yuaning one moment, and at me the next. Sometimes I caught him looking at me, and Ed stare right back. Seeing me occasionally glance toward Zhan Xingxi, Feng Yuaning felt a bit awkward inside. Could Zhang Chen be misunderstanding that there's something going on between me and Zhan Xingxi? I didn't do anything. We're completely innocent and transparent. I've never dated any guys before, nor have I ever flirted ambiguously with any man, because no one has ever caught my eye. After eating, everyone moved to a club and started playing games, singing and drinking. Everyone was having a great time. I sat on the sofa watching Feng Yuaning sing. She sang beautifully and even exuded a strong stage presence. I just sat there quietly, admiring her. The song ended, and the next one was Zhan Xingxi's turn. Zhan Xingxi held the mic and suddenly turned off the music. He looked at me and called out, "Brother Chen, I know you don't love Feng Yuaning at all." As soon as those words came out, everyone fell silent, their eyes fixed on Zhan Xingxi. "Brother Chen, I love her. I love her so much. As long as you agree to divorce Feng Yuaning, you can name any condition you want." I just asked around in our circle. You went abroad to study right after high school and rarely came back over the years. While Feng Yuaning has always stayed in the country, you two had absolutely no contact before. With no contact, there's obviously no feelings involved. This sudden marriage is definitely just a wealthy family's business alliance. It's all for profit. So ill use profit to sway you and demand that you two divorce. Feng Yuaning furrowed her delicate brows, her watery eyes filled with anger. What kind of nonsense are you spouting? Zhan Xingxi said seriously.
Yuaning, he doesn't love you.
And you don't love him either.
You two won't be happy together.
I'm saving you. Feng Yuaning glared at him fiercely. Do you think you're the savior? Trying to play the hero and save me? Zhan Xingxi looked at the angry Feng Yuaning and thought to himself, forget it. I love her. My heart is completely biased toward her. How could I ever win an argument against her? He turned to look at me. Any condition is fine. Feng Yuaning turned back, looking at me in disbelief. Zhang Chen, what does this mean? Could he actually be considering it? Feng Yuaning's delicate brows knitted together tightly. If you dare to divorce me and make me a twice-married woman, I'll kill you. I smiled and said, 10 billion. I don't want stocks, antiques, or jewelry. I want cash and real estate. The close friends beside her gently nudged Feng Yuaning, teasing, joking playfully, oh my, our eldest Miss Feng is quite pricey. Feng Yuaning glared at them in annoyance. Zhan Xingxi's face stiffened, standing there in silence. 10 billion. In cash and real estate. I don't have that. If I did, I definitely would have given it.
Why are you asking for 10 billion? Why do you need so much?
I glanced at Feng Yuaning sitting next to me and said, do you think she's not worth that much? In your heart, is Feng Yuaning not worth 10 billion? Zhan Xingxi felt like I was insulting Feng Yuaning. How could this guy be so unreasonable? In my heart, Yuaning, she's a priceless treasure. Yeah. If she's priceless, then exchanging her for 10 billion.
You'd be willing, right? I'm willing.
It's just that I don't have that much money. Even though I'm a second-generation rich kid, it's not like just any rich kid can casually pull out 10 billion. I smiled. Then what should we do? Zhan Xingxi looked completely desperate. How am I supposed to know what to do? Seeing him at a loss for words, I continued. How about this? I'll wait for you. Work hard and make that money. Wait until you've earned enough. Then come find me. 10 billion. How long will it take me to earn 10 billion? I know my own worth better than anyone. I'm just a useless rich kid waiting to die. I have absolutely no business sense at all. But for Feng Yuaning, I'll try my best. Zhan Xingxi swore and promised.
You said it yourself.
You wait for me. When I earn enough 10 billion to give you, then you have to divorce Feng Yuaning. I nodded. Yeah, I said it and they are all my witnesses. All right, well, be your witnesses. Ha 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 ha. Zhan Xingxi, you better work hard. Hurry up and earn that 10 billion. Otherwise, in a few decades, Feng Yuaning will be old and her beauty faded. What's the point of spending 10 billion to buy her then? Yuaning casually grabbed a piece of fruit from the plate and threw it straight at her. You're the one who's old and faded. The woman easily caught the fruit, took a bite, and teased. As expected of 100 billion heiress, the fruit she picked herself is really sweet. The hands of 100 billion heiress must be worth at least a dozen billion. How could it not be sweet?
Exactly.
Zhan Xingxi said with a completely sincere face. Don't listen to their nonsense, even if you get old or ugly. I'll always like you. Feng Yuaning scoffed coldly. You say that as if I'm the only one in the world who will get old and ugly, as if you guys are immortal and will stay young forever. How about you stop obsessing over Feng Yuaning and look at me instead? Feng Yuaning is charging you 10 billion. I'll give you a 50% discount. 5 billion is enough.
Ha ha.
Ha ha ha. You guys are all so mean. Building your happiness on my pain. Everyone kept joking around until 1 a.m. before finally dispersing. However, Zhan Xingxin had already left early at 10 p.m. I don't want to stay here and watch them show off their affection. I need to go home and figure out how to make money. Feng Yuaning and I arrived home, and as soon as we stepped into the bedroom, Feng Yuaning immediately poured cold water on me. What's wrong? Do you think the price is too low or too high? Because Feng Yuaning kept thinking about this. She had been unhappy all evening. Relax. Zhan Xingxi won't be able to come up with 10 billion. But what if he does? What if Zhan Xingxi actually earns 10 billion? I looked at her flushed lips. My Adam's apple bobbing slightly. If he can bring it out, then I'll just have to reluctantly accept it. Feng Yuaning angrily raised her hand and punched me. Jiang Chen.
You jerk.
Are you really going to sell me? I reached out and grabbed her wrist, gently pulling her into a full embrace, rubbing the tip of my nose against the top of her head, smelling the faint scent of gardenia lingering on her. My heart suddenly softened. Even if I sold anyone else, I would absolutely never sell you. My eldest Miss Feng is a priceless treasure. She would feel wronged and upset because I went on a business trip for a week. She would get jealous and sulk because I had dinner with Li Yunshu. She would clumsily approach me whenever I felt tired. And when misunderstood by Jiang Jiang, she would still blush and admit the intimacy between us. Those trivial moments had long since crushed my original cold plans, blending into a heart full of tenderness. Are you telling the truth? I lowered my head and kissed her forehead lightly. Of course. I always tell the truth. Feng Yuaning's cheeks immediately flushed pink. She reached out and pushed me away, trying to look calm as she turned and walked toward the bathroom. I'm going to take a shower. I'm ignoring you. This little girl, always tough on the outside but soft on the inside. Early the next morning, as soon as I went downstairs, I saw Zhang Zhang waiting in the dining room, glaring at me with a face full of resentment. Feng Yuaning walked over carrying a glass of fresh milk, and seeing Zhang Zhang's expression, she couldn't help but burst out laughing. Jiang Jiang, making that face. Does someone owe you money? Zhang Jiang glared at her, then looked back at her brother. You didn't sleep well last night, did you? Your dark circles are about to drag down to your chin. Already. Feng Yuaning, could you restrain yourself a bit? Feng Yuaning's face instantly turned bright red. Zhang Jiang, could you not always bring these things up? Grandpa Feng walked in from the door, just in time to hear that young people are full of energy. It's completely normal. Normal. I'm still waiting to hold my great-grandson. Feng Yuaning was so embarrassed she hid behind my back, grabbing the hem of my shirt without uttering another word. I gently patted the hand grabbing my shirt, then looked at Zhang Zhang. Stop teasing your sister-in-law all the time. Hurry up and eat breakfast. You still have to go to work at the company after eating. Brother, I really don't want to go to work. I just want to be a clueless rich kid. No. You've played around enough. It's time to learn how to manage the company. The future of the Jiang family's business also depends on you.
Lu Ruyan and Shi Yoi's parents
also took my advice to heart and shoved both girls into the company. Now, the three girls who used to just fool around every day, go to work together every day. Even though they complain endlessly, they've gradually settled down. Their arrogant tempers have also been worn down by work, which is exactly the result I wanted. In the car, she suddenly spoke up. Why did you agree to marry me in the first place? My hand holding the steering wheel paused slightly, and I turned to look at her. Do you want to hear the truth?
Yeah, the truth.
At first, it was because Grandpa came to see me and offered conditions I couldn't refuse. So I promised him two things: to push you to become a better person, and to give the Feng family an heir. But now, I just want to spend ordinary days with you. Feng Yuaning, it's not for benefits, nor because of the agreement, but because of who you are. She snapped her head up to look at me, her eyes filled with astonishment and a hint of disbelief. Are you telling the truth?
It's the truth.
I like your sassiness. I like your innocence. I like how you're tough on the outside but soft on the inside. I like every moment I spend with you. This arranged marriage, I've long considered it real. Jiang Chen, why didn't you say so earlier? I always firmly believed that you were only doing it because of the agreement with Grandpa.
It's my fault
for making you feel wronged. Arriving at the company, I had just finished dealing with a pile of paperwork when Li Yunshu called. Jiang Chen, are you free tonight? Our classmates are having a get-together. Everyone wants you to come. I'm not free. I have to be with my wife tonight. Li Yunshu was silent for a long time. I understand. I wish you happiness. Thanks. I hung up. My heart didn't ripple with the slightest emotion. The grudges and romances of the past had long faded away with the flow of time. Now in my heart there is only Feng Yuaning. In the afternoon after work, as soon as I reached the company lobby, I saw Feng Yuaning leaning against the car waiting for me, holding a tiffin carrier in her hands. "Why are you here?" I walked over quickly and took the item from her hands. "Brought you some soup." She looked up. "Auntie stewed some bird's nest. Said it's to nourish your body." A warm current gently rose in my heart. I took her hand and opened the car door.
Let's go. Let's go home.
Arriving home, Grandpa Feng saw us walking in side by side and couldn't stop smiling. "I've already taken care of all the wedding arrangements. It'll be held in 2 months. We have to make sure the whole city knows about it. I have to let everyone know that. You are the rightful son-in-law of our Feng family. Everything is up to your arrangements, Grandpa." At night, lying in bed, Feng Yuaning nestled her head against my chest and said softly, "I used to always think that marriage was a restriction, a task that Grandpa forced upon me. But now, I feel truly very happy. You'll be even happier in the future." She suddenly looked up, her eyes sparkling like they held thousands of stars. "Oh, right. Lately, I've been following everyone at the company to learn the business," Grandpa said, "I'm improving really fast. In the future, I can work alongside you to shoulder the company." My Yanning is the most amazing. From an eldest miss who used to only know how to play and enjoy herself, now she is slowly understood and grown up, able to take charge on her own. My promise to Grandpa Feng has finally been fulfilled. Days passed by one.
Lu Ruyan.
Shiyu, Yu, and Jiang also gradually honed themselves at the company, shedding their former arrogant and domineering attitudes, becoming more sensible. Since then, Zhan Xingxi stopped bothering Feng Yuaning, occasionally running into each other at high society events, just nodding in polite greeting, as if he had let go of his obsession. Yunshu also found her own happiness, and we no longer had any ties. All the entanglements of the past slowly sank into tranquility. Good people will live peaceful days. Those holding on to resentment and obsession, please let go and forgive the past. Everything is moving along its own best trajectory. 3 months later, Feng Yuaning held a pregnancy test report. Her eyes red as she rushed into my office. "Jiang Chen, impregnant." I shot up from my seat, and took the report, my hands trembling slightly. Looking at the results on the paper, overwhelming joy surged in my heart. I bent down and gently hugged her tight, kissing her familiar forehead. "Yuaning, thank you." When Grandpa Feng received the news, he was so moved he shed tears. "Good. Very good. Pass down my order. All employees of the Feng Group will get double their salary as a bonus." No, wait, everyone gets a raise. I put down most of my work and focused on staying home to take care of Feng Yuaning during her pregnancy. During her pregnancy, she became prone to sulking and morning sickness. Whenever she craved anything, I would go buy it myself. Sometimes her morning sickness made her vomit and feel extremely uncomfortable. I would stay up all night taking care of her, gently rubbing her back to soothe her. There was a time when I thought marriage was an exchange of benefits, and children were the fulfillment of an agreement. But it wasn't until now that I understood. Having her by my side, along with this little life about to be born, that is the true home I want to strive for. 10 months of pregnancy. The moment of birth had arrived. Outside the delivery room, I couldn't sit still, my hands covered in sweat. The moment a baby's loud cry tore through the quiet atmosphere. The heavy stone hanging high in my heart was finally lifted. The nurse came out holding the baby, smiling and saying, "Mr. Jiang, it's a boy. Mother and child are both safe and sound." I hurried into the delivery room. "Yuaning, you've worked so hard." "Jiang Chen, look at our baby." Grandpa Feng named his great-grandson Nian Feng, meaning missing Feng Yuaning, implying that the two of us will be together for a lifetime. On the baby's 1-month milestone, the wedding and the 1-month celebration were held together. On an incredibly grand scale, Jiang held her nephew, smiling as brightly as a blooming flower. "Brother,
Sister-in-law, this little guy is so cute."
I'll definitely love him so much in the future. Lu Ruyan and Shi Yu also smiled and said, yawning, "You're so happy now. We're all so jealous of you." Feng Yuaning nestled against my chest, looking at everything happening before her eyes, wearing a happy and fulfilled smile. "Yuaning, the marriage that started from an initial agreement? I've used my whole life to love you, and I've done it. For the rest of our lives. 4 seasons a year, 3 meals a day, watching our child play together. The two of us will never ever be apart. Jiang Chen, it's so good to have you." The sparkling sunlight shone down through the glass panels on the roof, falling upon the two of us, radiating warmth and brilliance. The marriage contract from back then had long turned into a true, unforgettable love. Billions in wealth can't compare to the person by your side. A sassy, arrogant little wife can also become the one and only true love of a lifetime.